Hola, 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 hola. What's happening, guys? We are back. We are back. We are back. Another Money Moving Mondays. And we're going to get straight into it, guys. But before we get started, I'd like to introduce you all to my guest here, Miss Anitra. How you doing, Miss Anitra?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well.
I'm so glad you came. I mean, I anticipated having more guests, but you know what? Some folks are just not reliable, I guess, sometimes.
Well, things happen.
Things happen my butt. They could have let me know something. They could have given me a
Yeah,
heads up.
that's true.
Who we got in the chat? Who we got in the chat? Oh, I got my man Lee in the building. How you doing, Lee, man? Appreciate your support. I always do, man. Guys, hit the like button as soon as you come in. Hit the like button. You already know. How you doing, Miss Deborah? Okay, we got Miss Akila in the house. All right, all right. We got some folks coming in. I appreciate you guys. I appreciate it. Hey, Kim, how you doing? Like the video as you guys come into the room. We're gonna get straight into it. Um, but before I do, also, guys, I'd like to also let you guys know that Miss Anitra and I we met off of a Facebook group. I'm not gonna say specifically what it is because it may not be your forte. Nothing explicit, nothing like that, too. By the way, but yeah, I just want to throw that out there in case you guys get carried away. But it was yeah, we met off a Facebook group. What did we have like a I can't remember. Was it like a minor dispute or we saw I don't know. I can't remember what the context of what we were discussing. But I know somehow I know I jumped I just poked my nose in a conversation or something like that.
Well, all I'm gonna say is we didn't agree, and
There
maybe
you go.
somebody that's on here was a little argumentative, but I had to let them know that it's all love.
It's all love.
It's all love.
At the end of the day, that's what we need to remember, folks. It's all love. We don't need to be at each other's throats. Good
That's
grief. That's the problem. I don't understand, and I think that is one of the contributing factors as to why we're not able to have conversations today. Is because people just, they look at the opposition as an enemy. Like
mm,
you are my arch eternal enemy because you disagree with me, and it shouldn't be like that. Shouldn't be like that.
mm.
We should be able to have civil discourse, dialogue, and not to have no issues. I agree with you, Miss Deborah. We need to. She said we need to be united no matter what color we are. Yes, yes, I
Mm,
agree. I agree. We need to be united. But my take is a little different. I think we should all be united under some core values. I know we all have different cultures, different ethnicities, but we should all be united under core values. And once upon a time, those were Christian values. But we hopefully we'll return back to that state. But
mm.
nonetheless, I'm running my mouth already. Guys, you saw the description. I hope you read the description, guys. Hope y'all read the description. But we're going to talk about navigating the new normal of the modern day relationships today.
Mm.
The interpersonal dynamics between men and women. I think we should be talking about these things because I get it. There's a lot going on the political front. I get it. There's a lot going on internationally, but we need to focus on rebuilding our society. We need to have a healthy society. I think people have gone adrift because we lack values, we lack purpose, and we lack togetherness in communities and families. Most importantly, I've always told you guys, families are the fundamental blocks of any community. And communities are fundamental blocks of a greater society. So we gotta, just keep our eye on the ball. But nonetheless, I'm gonna play some clips here. We're gonna react to them. Miss Anitra's gonna give her view. I'm gonna give my view. We may clash a little bit. We may not, but we're gonna see how it go. You ready, Miss Anitra? You ready?
I'm ready. I'm absolutely ready.
All right. And again, I do appreciate you coming on. I promise you, if anybody that I invited hit me up while I'm doing this stream, they will not be getting an invite. You will not be coming on this stream. You late. You late.
Oh,
They late.
oh.
I don't know. I may have a change of heart. We'll see. We'll see how that goes. But let's see. So the first clip I'm gonna play hell tonight is it is brought to us by the Lapeef Network. Are you familiar with that show?
Not at all.
Okay, so Lapeef Network, they have it consists of a panel of, the panels vary from time to time, but generally it's men and women and they discuss relationships, sometimes a little politics, but generally they're talking about relationships and more particularly the black community. Now, this gentleman here that I'm going to play here for us, his name's Trigger Mike, and I think he gave a pretty interesting take on some of the let's just say low quality men that our women have decided to bear their children with. And
Mm.
as a result, these men abandon the families and these women are left having to care for their children all alone. And it's just all bad all around because like I said from the start, families are important and it's important to have a mother and a father there. And you know I don't think neither father or mother should be left raising a child, but I do understand that the circumstances happen, unfortunately. But let's go ahead and play this. And because I've been talking so much, Mr. Nitro, I'm gonna let you give the first take and then I'll jump in. All right.
Okay.
All right, so let's get it. Where you at? Where you at? There we go. So this is called Low Value Men Are Winning. All right. Can you see that?
No.
You can't see nothing. Okay. Let me put it up here.
Yes.
And chat, put a 1 in the chat if the audio is coming in good. Put a 2 in the chat if you can't hear anything. But I'm going to play it right now. Oops. Okay, so there we go.
That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Let me restart it. Come on now.
That's what I'm trying to tell you. I can't talk to these men because they're winning. F-boys are winning. These dope dealers are winning. They get to mess with the best upstanding women of society. All right? You can't tell them anything. You can't reason with them. That's like telling somebody in a casino who's up and their number keeps getting hit to stop gambling. You see what I'm saying? That's what you're telling men like me to do.
I want to play the first part because I'm gonna make sure we got the first part in.
Okay.
You cut off his supply. Ladies, that's what I'm trying to do to you. That's what I'm trying to tell you. I can't talk to these men because they're winning. F-boys are winning. These dope dealers are winning. They get to mess with the best upstanding women of society. All right? You can't tell them anything. You can't reason with them. That's like telling somebody in a casino who's up and their number keeps getting hit to stop gambling. You see what I'm saying?
Ooh-wee. All right. All right. So, Mr. Nietzsche, what do you think? Is there any truth to what this gentleman just said? Do you think F boys, low quality men, are winning right now with regards to having the pick of the litter of the women?
No, I don't think that's what's happening. I don't think that's true at all. I think what he's saying would imply that there are more F boys than there are, good men.
Mm-hmm.
And I just don't see that. I just believe that a lot of times we get together in an immature state,
Mm-hmm.
a state that is neither party ever it has grown to where they should be. So I really believe that that's more of an issue than it is drug dealers and F boys are winning, because they're not. I mean, they're not. If we go back to our incarceration rates around, in the US, come on, they're not winning. No part of that is winning. So no, I don't agree with that.
So I want to throw some stats out there.
Mhm.
according to, I believe it's the Department of Health Services, but 54% of black men in particular are single and childless, and 30% of black men are married. So that leaves a little under 20% of the men carrying the lion's share, black men in particular, carrying the lion's share of the children that are being born currently.
Mm-hmm.
And as we know, I mean, I'm sure, I don't know if you know, but I'm sure you do know because it's all over the internet. But the most infamous stat, which is um 70% of our children are being born out of wedlock and to single mother homes. So with that stat being in mind, what do you think about that dynamic, considering that the majority of the children are being sired by a small percentage of men? Does that, I don't know, does that kind of change your perspective a little bit?
No, not really. I did agree with what he said at the beginning of the video when he said he's speaking to the women. I do. I speak to my daughters. I speak to other women, and most of us are feeling about the same way, as far as shutting it down until somebody is worthy of being with us. And I think more women are like that than not. But then we also get to the point where men start hating about that people do the 90-day rule and all of this stuff. It's like when we are chaste, when we are demure and, we're covered up and we keep our cookie to ourselves, then why are so many good women single? You understand what I'm saying? So you can't acknowledge one stat and not acknowledge the other, because why are so many good women single? There are lots of single black women with no children that are waiting on marriage or waiting to find somebody worth dating.
Mm-hmm.
So where are those stats? And
So
I'm
what?
sorry, I don't have any stats on
No, you're
me,
good. Yeah, you're
but
fine. You're fine. Why do you think?
I think the issue is way much bigger than F boys winning, because
Mhm,
that's how we feel on the other side. These girls that's doing all of these things to their bodies and they're out here and showing everything. Those are the ones that's getting the money. Those are the ones that's going for the bag. You know what I'm saying?
mhm,
We people like me, you don't see me. Come on. Nobody knocking on my door throwing money at me. Why?
mhm,
Because I keep to myself.
mhm.
So those stats also exist. So
So why do you think that? Why do you think there's such a large percentage of men who are single and childless, and couple that with what you just said, as far as there being this vast swath of women in particular that are single, um, look waiting to be married. Um,
because we're thinking about marriage. Women think from the time we're young. We think about getting married and having our families and getting our wedding dress and having the wedding. We think about all of that. Men are not. My son don't care about a wedding.
mhm,
He's not. That's not even on his mind. We raise our girls to think about marriage, and then when they get out there into the marriage, most of the men that want to get married are, they're not the young guys that are their age. You know,
mhm,
understand what I'm saying? Come
mhm,
on, and whoever said that, Miss Linda, the whole dating scene is crazy. I I'm sorry. This is my first time being single, and I have not dodged so many penises in my life. It's like
mhm,
that's the first thing everybody's like, "Hey, before they even get your name good, guess what? I got this for you." I don't want you know,
mhm.
everybody is so over sexualized that there's nobody's thinking about marriage right now. Nobody.
Okay. Um, So yeah, I mean, well, what I do know is that 1 in 4 black women will be married in this country. What do you think what do you think is one of the chief complaints men are having uh in regards to women and not wanting to marry these women? What do you think some of the chief complaints men are having on this dating scene, in your opinion?
Ooh, in my opinion, I see a lot more men want to be chased. I don't know what that's like. I don't know what to do with that. Um, like they'll do the reaching out, and then I will reciprocate, and then all of a sudden is, well, you acting like you don't want me, or you didn't call me today.
Mm,
Our schedules conflict. I did send you a text, you didn't respond. So I
mhm,
find it, men right now really want to be chased, and
mm.
I don't know what that's like. I don't know how to do that.
So, you know, I'm a man, and what
Hmm.
I what I hear from this side of the aisle is that women have become more masculine. They're not dutiful. Why they're not suited to be wives anymore. They are much rather, excuse me, they're more intent on having a career and focusing on their pursuing their own happiness as opposed to, bearing children and having a family. Another complaint I hear is that women are not they're not willing to be submissive, and that's a hot topic out there now. I mean, as far as it's as if the very word submission is a curse word now. It's like,
Mm.
but I think that I just think it's taken out of context in my view. But what do you say to that? What say you?
Oh wow. I can understand what you say about what men believe as far as women have become more masculine. I can understand that. But in the absence of leadership, somebody has to step up. So and then the other thing is, and I've said this before, you can't follow a parked car. If like we're telling these girls to build up these skills to be good mothers and good wives. But in the meantime, they also have to live. You understand? Until somebody chooses them or somebody decides that, hey, you are who I want to be with. Where are we? What do we want women to do? Like, it's like it's like if we do too much, if we lead too much, then we're stepping on the toes of the black man. And then if we don't do enough, then we're not strong black women. And it's like, what? You want us to be strong, but you want us to be soft. You want us to be kind, but you also, want to talk
Yes.
bad about us and talk to us wrong. I don't understand.
Okay.
I
Okay.
don't
Well.
understand it's
Okay.
always this, like, if you're yelling at me, you want me to take it and
Hmm.
assimilate it and then still speak to you in a way that is, uplifting and encouraging, but everything that I get from you is not. That's
Hmm.
not fair. That's not fair. And
Okay.
that's a hard thing to ask women to do. Like,
Okay.
and my personal, what I'm going through personally is, I am a single mother, and it is by choice, because the option was to allow my kids to see some things that could have possibly traumatized them. You understand what I'm saying? So yeah, I had to make that choice. But my goal in raising them is to bring the least amount of trauma, to bring healing and love, and make sure that they have that, and my children receive that kind of love from me. But a man that comes in, it's going to take a while for him to get that, because I'm very protective of them, and I'm learning to be more protective of myself. Doesn't mean I'm not going to treat them or I'm going to talk to them any kind of way, but
So I wanna just chime in real quick, and then we're gonna move on to the next clip. But I thank you for sharing those thoughts with us. Mr. Thomas West said the biggest problem that shouldn't be one is in the last few years, men have finally gotten standards and the standards are not well received. What say you to Mr.
Oh, I don't
Wesley?
believe that at all. I don't believe that at all.
You don't think
Look at
men
your
have?
granddaddy and your grandmama and your mom and your dad. Come on. Those are
So,
good standards. Those are some
mhm,
good standards. And I think men have all of a sudden, okay, we went through this phase where it has been mostly about what a person looks like and very superficial things. But I also see another shift happening where men are starting to realize that's not all it's cracked up to be.
mhm.
Yeah, they want more now. But the women they're still going after tend to be 10, 15 years younger. They still attracted to the same kind of women. Yeah.
Well, that's the see. I think one of the cardinal mistakes that a lot of women make is that men we have a really really special ability, which is men know how to compartmentalize, right?
Mm,
Meaning that when there are two different strategies that men employ when they see a woman, one being sexual attraction and the other relationship attraction, and each strategy has its own methodology that we go about it, right?
mhm,
um I think the difference between men and women on the dating scene is that, let's say for example, you're out with your friends, or women are just out hanging out. A woman will curve and turn down a guy, reject a guy overtly, like, get away from me, you ain't my type. Whereas a man will reject a woman silently. He'll
mm.
go along with the program and say, "Hey, yeah, I like that I like that you got some masculine traits. I like that you're doing what you're doing. I like that you're ambitious, getting the bag and all that." Well, all the while, this man is thinking like, I'm just this. I've already made my decision what category she's going to be in,
I know,
and I
but they still sleep with those women, and those women are still becoming single moms. That's where the problem is. It's not the men's standards, it's the men not having standards.
well,
Just
that's.
as it is a woman
Do you
not
think
having standards with who she's sleeping with.
do you
It's,
think women are in control of sex? Meaning, is it solely the woman's decision whether or not that man can enter her body? Uh-oh.
um,
Hold up. Let me put the Jeopardy sound on. Hold up now. See, I gotta get hold on.
okay, let me
There we
let
go.
me I was debating as somebody who has been assaulted, sexually assaulted.
Mhm.
Um, I want to say no, we don't always have that. But as a grown person who has um, learned other ways of protecting herself and making sure that I am protected and I feel safe, I'll say yes. I have a decision with who I am, who I sleep
Right,
with.
right. Yes.
And
So yeah.
most women do.
Mhm.
We have a choice. But there are so many women, especially the younger they are, that don't know how to say no.
Mhm.
They don't know that they don't have that kind of autonomy over their bodies yet. They don't have that, um, I don't know,
So who do you think is responsible for teaching them or showing them the way, if you're claiming that they're as naive as, or they're susceptible to being manipulated or used or given
I'm not going to
talked
say
out of their.
I'm going to say that Black women generally are not taught autonomy over their own bodies. We've never, especially, and you have to understand. I'm coming from the South, um, where it feels like everybody else can tell me what to do with my body, but myself. You know, You say don't have a child, but you can't have an abortion. You got to have your parents' permission to be on certain kind of birth control. And then if you are unfortunately, assaulted, then, we're not protected. We're not protected. So as parents, I know I saw where my mom has a similar story to my own.
Okay.
My aunts have
Hey,
similar stories to me.
hey, Miss Anitra, I'm so sorry. I don't mean to interrupt you.
Mm-hmm.
Making some great points here. I'm gonna pull Miss Georgia up here. See, I
Oh,
told you I didn't
great.
change my mind. I didn't change my
No,
mind.
that's okay. I'm
It's all
boring. I
good. She
know.
no, no, you're not. You're not. No, you're not. Don't start that. Um.
I'm
Uh
sure
oh.
I'm very boring.
No, don't say that. Oh man, Miss Georgia, you got some feedback coming in, Miss Lady.
I don't know how to make it stop.
So listen. How about this? Try hitting the mute button, and then I'm gonna play the clip, and then when I come to you, just hit the unmute so that way you can just jump in, chime in. But thank you for joining. As you met Miss Anitra before, so how y'all doing? Yeah, all right, all right, all right. We were just talking about what was our last point? What were we just talking about? I'm sorry.
Ooh, we talked about a lot.
The last, oh yes,
Um,
I asked Miss Anitra, um, does she think women are in control of sex? And she made the point that women are younger women are not, they don't have the autonomy to be going out in the dating field and making these decisions. But I argue that who who should have taught them? Like that's my contention is where should they have learned these skills and who should have cultivated them and prepared them for this getting out there in the world and being responsible sexually. So I'm gonna go on mute, and Miss Georgia, you can jump in, and then we're gonna play the next clip after you make your point.
Well, I definitely think that should have been taught at home. It starts in the household. Everything starts in the household. The problem is that even though we're trying to teach them in the household, I have two daughters, a 30-year-old and a 28-year-old. 28-year-old. I have three kids. And I taught them early in life, just like I was raised by my great grandmother. And she used to tell me, save something special for someone special. And then even my father would tell me and my sisters that y'all are some pretty girls. You're going to always get approached. So you're going to have to learn how to say no. Because you're going to have that energy. You're going to have that attention. And so it's the ones that are out here that can't control. I think it's about self-esteem. It's about control. It's about society. We live in a hypersexual society. Everything is geared around sex, everything. And so if they're not being taught at home, they're definitely going to be taught by their peers. And peer pressure is something else. And, if we can't combat that, because we could teach them, but they're still going to go outside that door and do what they want to do. They have their own personalities. They're making their own decisions, and they're hiding stuff. I hid stuff. My daughters hid stuff. And so, but as long as you're, they say raise a child up in the way that you would have them go, and they'll come back to it. So even though we're teaching them, it's still something that they have to make the choice to do.
All right.
I believe daddies are important, especially with girls. Especially with girls. I think seeing how a dad is with their mother is very important, and seeing how that dad also treats them.
Hey, hit that mute button for me, Miss Georgia. All right, go ahead. I'm sorry, Miss Anitra. Go ahead.
That's okay. I just said dads and men are very important, and I think men historically set the standard of what society looks like. And when they let the standard go, when it's okay, and when especially this rap culture, oh my gosh.
Uh-oh.
When the culture started changing, oh my gosh. And we as black
Are you
men
talking about Freaknik?
I did not participate. I wasn't. I didn't go to that.
A
I
lot of
heard
mamas,
about it.
a lot of
I heard
aunties and
about it.
mamas, a lot of aunties and mamas got a little,
And a lot of daddies and
scared about
uncles
that.
is down there.
Hey, that's true. That's true. That's
As
true.
a matter of fact, my ex-husband went. My
Oh my
ex-husband went.
gosh. So
Yeah, we
listen,
were married at the time, I think.
we're gonna shift over here for the next topic. And um Miss Georgia, since you just got here, I'm gonna let you speak first, and then I'll be the last to speak. But I want to hear y'all views on this right here. All right, here we go.
Can't love. They don't know how to love.
Hold up, let me start it over. Oops. Can y'all hear that?
It's not correct that there is such a thing as biological.
No. That's not what I wanted to do. Okay, here we go.
Are not the father.
What?
No, not that. Here we go. Sorry about that.
I always said that women can't love. They don't know how to love. All we know how to do is respect. And I think respect is the highest form that a woman can show of love. I don't think that women love like men. I think men actually know how to love because of this reason. Because women, we are conditional. It depends on how you treat us, what you give us, the providence you give us, provide us. Sorry, all of that is depending. Even with children, you'll see with children, mothers won't treat children equal. If one child is like nicer to her or treats her good or is up her dress all the time, she'll show more affection to that child than the other children. It's all conditional.
All right.
They don't know how.
All right,
love.
Miss
All we know how
Georgia,
to
what
do
you
is
think?
respect,
Do you
and I think respect is the highest form that a woman can show of
Come
love.
on.
I don't think that women love like men.
up,
I
gotta
think
pull it
men
off. There
actually
we go.
know how to love because of this reason.
1 second.
Because women.
All right, there we go. All right, Miss Georgia, you first. So what you think? Is it true that women don't know how to love unconditionally?
I would have to disagree. I think we are the most let me give you an example. I won't necessarily say a woman loves you even if she respects you, because, and then like when she's saying that women love differently, we love differently, women have a different love language. And I think that's our love language. We know that men really aren't verbal and expressing love, and it's more about what they're showing. And they say a man will show you he loves you with his actions. And so women, you see women that, I don't know if it's fear, love, or anything. They'll go through the struggle love with you. They'll be by your side when you up and coming, and when you're living in your car, or when you're trying to make it, and you're starting off, and then it seems like things happen, and too often you see women just left at the wayside, and I don't think it's anything but love.
Uh-oh. All right. Were you done there, Miss Georgia? Or you want to finish up? All right, hit that mute button for me, please. And go ahead, Miss Anitra. You can go ahead and I'll chime in last.
I think the young lady was speaking. Her heritage, her culture is different. I think that's something that she may have grown up with, that she may have seen, but that's not any part of my reality. I don't. Women traditionally, especially, let's go with what I know, Black women, we love till the wheels fall off, and we still carry it. We'll pick it up, put it on our backs, and keep going. Women, we will love. And we will do it unconditionally. Yeah, I don't. We will do it unconditionally. I think the only time the condition of love is if sometimes, and some women don't do this, but the condition of love happens when I have to choose myself over the other person, like my own wellness, my own survival will supersede my love for somebody else outside of myself. But at the same time, I will throw myself in front of a bullet for a stranger if I saw it coming. You know what I'm saying? I would shield somebody else. I could see that, and I know I would. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So no, I don't think she's correct at all by anything. Anything that she said. Now that might be her reality and something that she knows, but in her truth, but I don't know any woman, none in my life, none that I've seen, none that I've come across, none that I've worked with, white or black, here, that I can say don't understand what love is.
Okay, so I'm gonna just give a little pushback. I I can't say unequivocally that women can love unconditionally. Let me explain this why. Um, 80% of divorces are filed by women. Now, as we all know, you know, marriage is supposed to be till death do us part. Now, we are excluding those cases that include abuse. Absolutely. So let's not even go there. We're
Well, how
talking
many
about
cases you think that is? Like,
how about this?
what's a
How about this?
percentage?
Because
Because
how about I be generous? How about I just be generous and say it's half of the 80%?
okay,
That still leaves us with one out of four women. Excuse me. That means 40% of divorces are being filed by women, and the percentage is significantly small for men. So that means one out of excuse me, that means 40% of women are just leaving their marriages, and the number one reason that's stated in a lot of cases is financial. So, given that man's inability to provide, you know, she's out the door. So I want to hear y'all perspective of that, and then we can carry on. Go ahead, Miss Georgia.
Okay, so I'm glad you brought that up. And that seems like to be a trending topic over the last couple of weeks. Women, when we decide to walk away, it's because we're at our wits' end. We've had we've waited, we've endured it, we've had patience, we had resilience, and we leave for two main reasons other than abuse. Finances. Even if a husband comes in, I was just having this conversation with my husband earlier. We will stay and stick it out. We will go get jobs. We will try to have your back. But at some point, we have to decide, okay, enough is enough. You keep saying this and you keep saying this. And now what you've been consistent with is saying this. And another thing, infidelity. Men don't leave, they just go out and cheat. So now if I have to deal with a cheater that's constantly risking my life, my safety, my well-being, and my whole psyche. If I'm living in this depression, I'm living in this uncertainty, and I'm living in this anxiety, that's not healthy for me. And for heaven forbid I have children, because once you get me into some type of psychological rut, how does that affect us as a family, as a unit? So that's why men don't leave. They just go outside the household. They go and cheat. They'll have a mistress, a side chick. They'll go drinking. They'll go gambling. They'll find another way to deal with the madness when we're stuck in the house, in a prison, so to speak. And so then what would you have us do? Stay in there? Will till death do us part, for goodness, for sickness and health, in good times and bad times? Well, when does the bad times end? You can't expect, we're human too. First, we're humans. We have emotions, and with those emotions comes conditions. So at any time that I feel like my mental health is being challenged or being risked, or my physical health, they come out, men go out and they'll sleep with this girl, that girl, bring you back diseases, or you end up going to different clinics and things like that. What would you have them do? I would definitely encourage her to leave at that point, because you're not getting any better. And especially if you've tried therapy, we'll go through the motions. We'll go through it all. Therapy, we'll go through counseling, we go to church, we go to God, we're in prayer. We do all these things before we've had that final straw, and then we decide to leave. Look at the women who get beat. You said other than that abuse. So the beating is just not physical. It's mental, it's emotional, it's all kind of different things that lead the woman to break, because we stay. We have that staying power. And we'll be telling our girlfriends, girl, I'm trying to work it out with him, but he just keeps doing this and he keeps doing that. He ain't coming home. He's gambling the money away. I got 2 jobs and he's drinking. And at some point you have a breaking point. There's just a breaking point.
And I really feel you on that and I think our daughters, this new generation, these 22-year-olds and these, even 30-year-olds have seen their mothers go through those things with men. And it's like they may be on a whole different wavelength as far as wanting to do that with a man, wanting to see who wants to be married if all the marriages that they saw were abusive or neglectful or whatever, or infidelity. Who wants to get married?
Let me say something. Well, I want to read Mr. Thomas West. Mr. West is throwing them out there. All right. So Mr. West says someone spoke of grandparents and great grandparents. It's funny how they went through a lot more and had it much worse. However, they had long-lasting marriages.
That's because granddaddy at some point decided to sit down.
Or not even that. Women didn't have the passage to leave. They lacked education, they lacked resources. And my great grandmother couldn't even drive. My great grandmother used to tell me, she was born in 1910. And she told me how she had to go to work and clean people's houses. And she said white folks' house. Because my great grandfather had gambled her house away. And so the numbers men had come to get it. And so this doctor named Dr. Finch, she worked for, went and paid off my grandfather's debt and allowed my grandmother to work it off. My grandma didn't have the leaving power. And when you stay and you have children, you got to know, you have to consider, how are those children processing what's going on in this household? What is the long-term effect it's going to have on them? Because I've seen children come back and tell their mother, you stayed there. Daddy was never home. Daddy had women. He did this. He did that. You're weak. And then you have to come up with excuse. Well, no, I wasn't weak, but I knew that I couldn't take care of y'all on my own. So I didn't have no choice but to stay. And you look at the size of the households back then, them women was having multiple. I mean, like one of my grandmother has 12. Another one of my grandmothers had 7. Where was she going to pack up them children and go? Mr. Charlie was over there, next door was still with his wife.
Now, let me say something. Real quick. Ladies. I got to fill y'all in a little secret. All right. Men don't cheat for no reason. Now, I'm not saying that's all cases, but I'm just generally saying men do not step outside of their homes, step outside of their marriage for no reason. I'm not trying to justify it. I am not trying to justify it.
For recreation.
Listen, y'all gotta let me speak. What are you saying? Gotta let me speak. Okay, so I'm not saying all cases. I'm just saying, generally speaking, men do not step outside of their marriages unless he was provoked. Now, listen, men and women are attracted to different things in each other. Asymmetrical. Our attraction is asymmetrical. You are looking for a provider, as someone who can be provide security, someone can be a protector. And on the opposite side of the spectrum, a man typically wants peace and femininity and to come home and to recharge his batteries. Now, if he's incapable of doing that, and that woman is creating an environment in his kingdom where he has no peace, and I'm not even just creating an environment in the kingdom, she's creating a force field around herself, an invisible force field that only the man can detect, that says, I am not desirable, because of the attitude, the ruthlessness. Now, you brought up psychological abuse. I got to push back on that one, because I'm not just going to say black women, but I'm going to say women in general can have some vicious tongues, and they can let some of the most belittling, degrading things fly out their mouth and just shatter a man's ego. And he's broken. I'm just letting women know they have that power,
We know
especially if
that
that
very
man.
much. We already know that, especially, but what
And that,
triggers that? And I'm gonna have to beg to differ, because I know two men personally that had really great wives, but they went to work one day and someone else told them that they was attractive or appealing. So you men like that new stuff, right? Y'all don't want to stay with it, but you at least want to check. The first thing to cross your mind when a woman with a big butt walks in front of you, or some big breasts, whatever you're attracted to, you wonder what the first thought crossed your mind. Not, I wonder if she can cook, but I wonder, I wonder how
no,
good
no, no,
in
no.
bed.
We're
Men
visual.
cheat for recreation, just like she said. Men cheat because they think they won't get caught. Men cheat on good women. They cheat on bad women. They just cheat, and it's not about anything but discipline.
I
You know,
think you
they don't
guys.
have the discipline or the sexual maturity to withhold from those type of things, because you don't come into your household if you're being the leader, the provider, and the protector. The woman don't have nothing to fuss about. She don't have nothing but to pull her hair back and have you sit down on that couch, and you know what happens after that. But if you're not coming in and doing those things, then two people are triggered. You done triggered her to fuss, because no one wakes up in the morning and decides, oh, I'm gonna be a bitch today. I'm just gonna fuss today. There has to be a sequence of events. There's always cause and effect to everything. And if it's the case, if the man, so you seem like you're pro peace for a man, but is he her peace? I mean, that marriage works and relationships works because both parties are putting in the work. And if before he decided to step out and cheat, did he try to talk to her about it? Did they try to come to some type of conclusion? And then when he decided to cheat, why didn't he just decide to leave? Because you can't come back from cheating. There's always going to be that thought. There's always going to be that history there. And then you want that woman to forgive you, or to act like, we just slept it under the rug because we decided to move forward. But even though I've forgiven you, I haven't forgot what you've done. I haven't forgot how you lied to me in the process. I haven't forgot how I discovered that you were cheating. And then when you cheat, you don't come home and say, oh, I cheated. I went and had this affair, and this is why I had this affair. You lie about it. You sweep it under the rug. So then there's never any closure. It's just to the point where just get over it. Let's move forward, and everything's going to be okay until the next time it happens again.
All right, I'm gonna read this. I'm gonna read this comment here, and then we're gonna play the next clip. I thank you, ladies, for being on here. Look, we may have strong opinions, but I appreciate this. This is what brokering peace and coming to the table looks like. Look, I feel strongly about how my perspective. You two feel strongly about y'all's, but it's amazing that we can actually have a dialogue. That's what it's all about. So I'm gonna read here, Mr. West. I love you, Mr. West. He got my back. It's like he said, "Oh my goodness."
He's visiting us from the manosphere.
Hit that, hit the mute button for me, George. She's at the manosphere. Oh my goodness, we as Black people have to stop playing victim Olympics. No one ever talks about the negative things Black men had to go through. Every time you bring up good marriage from back in the day, women bring up abuse or uneducated women and why they couldn't leave. My paternal grandmother was the breadwinner in the field and made liquor. My grandmother also beat her men, so these women were not weak. Yeah, that is true. Big Mama had a strong arm back in the day. I know that for a fact. Okay, so did any of y'all want to make a quick brief rebuttal about to his comment, or I can move on?
I think that's isolated. In general, men are much bigger and stronger than women. Now I've had a couple friends that could go toe to toe with anybody I know, but that was very rare.
Bertha wasn't playing.
Rare. I am average height for a woman. I'm 5'6", and I'm not big at all. So that's an isolated incident. Not very isolated, but not as common as he would like to believe.
They said it's isolated. Okay.
But I also wanted to make a point that we're all coming from different traumas, period. And if we don't try to meet each other where we are in our traumas and try to at least understand, you may not agree. I may not agree with all the things that you've been through or anybody else has been through, but as Black people, since we got here, since we, were born here in this particular place called America, we all have been traumatized in some sort of way. Even if you're just looking at the mess on TV, we've all had some kind of traumas. And it's not victim Olympics, but it is, we all need to understand that we all have been hurt and we've all had to go through things. And you need to meet each person where they are. I can't meet every man that I see and say, because that person did that to me, all of y'all are going to do that to me. I can't do that. What I can do is be aware and be observant and use discernment to, weed out the good from the bad, just like anybody else. But if you're coming at every person you meet with that energy of you're like all women or you're like all men, you're never going to get anywhere.
You know what, Miss Anitra? I think that perfectly segues into our next clip. You don't want to let the problems of the past haunt your future. So I think this kind of perfectly segues into this clip. So I'm gonna play it, and Miss Anitra, we'll start with you. Here we go. Let's do it.
As you get older, that don't mean shit. I don't care how popular you are, how good you look. Looks don't necessarily do it all for me. Like I need to see you as a whole entire package.
Mm-hmm. Typically, when you get older, mileage has increased. Kids have increased. Your weight has increased. So you kind of fell out of your prime a bit. When you were in your prime, you were targeting toxicity. And we're not talking about you. We're talking about the average woman. So most women, when they get older, they'll start realizing, okay, this toxic dude that I've been chasing forever is not good for me. Like I done experienced it. He's cheating all around. You know what I'm saying? He's making me feel like nothing and all this. You know what? I'm going to go try to pursue the man that's actually good for me. But by that time, you done had a kid with this toxic man, or you done, been stressed out to where you done gain weight. So you're not in your prime no more. And that's typically how it goes. So now you are doing the good man a disservice because they're not getting you at your prime. They're getting you on the clearance rack. And that's what I feel like the problem is.
Oh my goodness. On the clearance rack. All right. So the question is, ladies, do women give their best selves in prime years to toxic men? And Miss Anitra, you can go ahead and you can start off.
Come on now, women. Our best years are not at 17.
Well, come on now. Let's be fair. Let's be fair. No, we're not talking about that. We're talking about early 20s, like mid 20 range, 25, 26, 27, 28.
That's usually when women are wanting to be married. But
let's just say before
don't want to be married.
before geriatric pregnancy.
How about this? When do you expect someone to mature? Everyone matures at a different rate. And I don't expect a 17 to 25-year-old woman to exactly know what she wants because she's in the realm of discovery. They're experiencing stuff. They're going through life. I didn't like the same things at 17. When I was 17, I didn't like those same things when I was 35. I don't like them same things that I liked at 35 now, probably, and I'm 45. You have to mature, you have to have experiences, and then you have to decide what it is that you like. And so the prime years, I think that we're setting the prime years way too low, because we're not even maturing. We haven't had enough experiences or things to draw from. You got to give people a chance to grow up. And so
I don't understand how come when men get older, they get more seasoned, they get more wise, they get more mature.
They're 25. Women mature faster than men.
I'm just saying, why is it that men are, when they mature, we use words like
they're mature,
wise, and they're they're steady, but when women mature, we on the clearance rack. Like, really?
That is
why is that? Why does my sexiness, why does my beauty, why does my love and my care and all the things that I've learned over the years, why doesn't that bring just as much value as when a man does the same exact thing?
So
you understand what I'm saying? Why is it am I less valued because I'm getting older? What?
I'm gonna answer that. So again, I think this is another one of those cardinal mistakes that I think women make, is that they forget that attraction is asymmetrical. Women value experience in a man. They value a man being able to be stable, financially secure, has some he's mature, he's wise, he can make smart decisions. A man remember, you got to look at it from the opposite side of the spectrum, but typically men get shamed and demonized because we have these preferences and these are the things that we want. And just, thankfully we have these mediums, like YouTube and other platforms, where now finally men are starting to speak up and like, screw it, we don't care anymore, we're just gonna say what we want. And I promise y'all, this is not something, these are not attacks on women. This is genuinely men saying, look, this is what we desire, this is what we want. But women are like, they're not receptive to that. So some of the things that what men value is inexperience. We want to be able to coach our women. We want our women to be teachable. Look, don't take that as manipulation. Take it in so far as, he wants to be able to show her that nuance, avant-garde experience, to be able to show her the world. He wants to see that giddy glare in her eye when he takes her to Jamaica. But you get one of these, Cardi B acolytes, and she's like, oh yeah, I done been here, I done been there, I done been there, ain't nothing new. That experience of newness is gone. But go back to the standards though. What men value, it typically is youth, beauty, and fertility. These are biological imperatives. I hate to be the one to bring this to you guys, but this is genuinely what men, they have done studies, they have done surveys. Men between the ages of 18 to 64 value younger women between the ages of between 18.
So you done covered.
He said 18 to 60.
Three generations of men, right?
Yes.
So a 64-year-old man who's basically on his way out the door, he got more days behind him than he does ahead of him. And then this 18-year-old boy who hasn't seen anything, done anything, can't do anything for anybody. He probably hasn't even paid his own cell phone bill, let alone left his mom and daddy's house. They have all these requirements.
No, I'm just saying that this is what men typically are attracted to in women.
And younger. I get what attraction is. I get it. At the same time, whenever you're saying you want all this newness, new gets old fast. And so what I find is that men aren't up for the challenge. Y'all are so whimsical. You don't want a woman who can take care of herself, but you don't want a woman who is needy or is a gold digger.
Who said that's what I'm saying? That's whoever said that, I guarantee you was a simp and was trying to appease the female ego. Whoever said that piece of information he had an ulterior motive. Because anytime you hear a man say that, he has an ulterior motive and he's trying to appease the ego of the female to try to get some, That's not true. That is absolutely not true. Women value different things on the spectrum. Men value different things. I think we just muddy the water so much today that now we just think everyone is just, I don't know, everyone's just some neutral widget and we all just, it's just all men. No, these are biological things that's been hardwired in us since the beginning of time. I mean, this all comes down to survival and reproduction. Women wants to find the most secure, stable man so that in the time when she gets pregnant, that man is able to provide a stable living condition for her. That was the female biological imperative, to find a man, the highest caliber of man to consolidate on so that he can protect her during her most vulnerable state. Now, men on the opposite side of the spectrum again. We want to make sure our woman is pure, because if she's the town bicycle, how are we to know that that child we are raising is our child?
They got a thing called
But y'all
now.
still ride the town bicycle.
But
That's
listen,
what I don't understand.
but listen.
You're
Yeah,
not gonna marry the town bicycle,
we have
but
DNA
you're
tests.
having children from somebody.
But we have, although we have modern conventions like DNA testing and things like that, that still doesn't erase a millennia of information that we have acquired over time. Men are hardwired to look for fertile, pure, younger women. Unfortunately, listen, look at Leonardo DiCaprio. He just found someone young. I mean, you can look at all this.
You know, I can't look at those people who are part of that pedophilia and that.
Okay.
You know,
Bad example.
I would have a problem with somebody my age hitting on my granddaughter or my child. I don't care what you can do for her. You have already experienced your life. Yes, you could take care of her, but in my mind, she has not had the development. And what you're looking for is a child. And then they will get these children, these children, 17 to 23, 25, and they got children that are older than them. What are you looking to do? Father her? What are you looking to do? What do y'all have in common? Y'all can't have the same interest. His interest in her is her physical, her sex, her perky breast.
No.
If he looks at her tight vagina,
it's her willingness.
It's all the physicalities of her.
No, that's not true. That's not true. I'm trying to listen. I'm trying to break the code for you guys. I'm breaking male code
for me, because I was raised by my grandfather, my father, plenty of uncles, men in my community.
So
and
listen,
when I was 17 years old, when those old men came around the neighborhood, we called them perverts.
But listen, it's not about, but that's a shaming tactic, because that just negates men and women being able to have a conversation if you're going to shame them for that. Let me tell you what it is about younger women that men are attracted to. It's their willingness to get on that man's program. It's her willingness to get to acclimate herself to that man's goal, purpose, and his mission. She's not going to be combative. She's not going to be stuck in her ways. She's not going to already be trying to, bicker with him because he wants to go right and she wants to go left. These women that are, older in age, typically they have already crystallized their way of thinking, and they're not compromising it for no one.
They want someone who doesn't have discernment, because she doesn't know that his way may not be a way for her. So he wants somebody brand new to the world, brand new to adulthood, so that he can basically indoctrinate her to his school of thought, indoctrinate her into his programming, because she does not know that maybe this ain't the way that things should go. She doesn't know that there are other options out there. She doesn't know that, he may be toxic as hell to her. And so then I guarantee you a lot of those relationships don't last, because just as soon as she's exposed to other people or exposed to other women and they start talking, her mind starts to wonder. Her mind starts to think, well, this dude may have not been my best choice, even though he was a good choice. He wasn't my best one. And then you get a baby by him. They're now entering the retirement age. They want to sit down. They're settled, and this lady wants to adventure. She wants to go out and explore life, and then she feels like that she can't even have her own life. She has no identity because he's given her one. They don't come to even know themselves. So I think that's a bit controlling. You want to control her because you're indoctrinating her into your school of thought. You don't want her to have any other say so or any other input, because she knows nothing about life. And so what is your intentions with that?
Let me just read this comment real quick, and then Anitra, I'll let you jump in. Mr. West, could you hey Georgia, can you hit the mute real quick? Thank you so much, darling. All right, so Mr. West is on fire tonight. He said as I said, less trauma and less horror stories of the ghosts of the past experience. All right, Miss Anitra, you can go ahead.
I understand. I think you are the word innocence is not necessarily the best word. I think the word should be growth mindset. And I don't think when a woman becomes a certain age, she loses her ability to be in a growth mindset. And as long as you're both growing, I don't think it's any problem. Yes, I think men tend to look at younger women because they can do what they want to do. But again, you have, like she said, these younger women as they get older, and they're realizing that this choice wasn't the top choice, and I have more choices as we get older. You know, she might decide, hey, I've raised my children, now I want to do this and I want to do that, and women are outliving men. So we're still, y'all are, falling off at 64, you're starting to need somebody to take care of you. And at 64, we're still up and going on cruises and doing things that we want to do. And that's the other side of the coin of these, older men dating younger women. I don't know if that was I don't even know if that's the topic we were on, but that's what's happening. And then these older men are now in these relationships just to get somebody to take care of them in their old age. And older women are, living their best life and have come to terms with being, whether they're going to be alone or whether they date, they've all come to that. But I don't like that term innocence, because I like the term growth mindset. Younger women, yeah, we are more, at that time, we were more open to hearing everything. But I got married young. I got married when I was 18. So I got married young, and we were growing in the same direction for a long time. But at one point we stopped. And I thought we were going to stay together forever, and it was going to be, we're going to go to church and do all these things. And he decided that he wasn't happy and he wanted to, date other people while we were still married. So it's one of those things that, and to be honest with you, at that point, I loved him so much that it was like, I will, whatever you want to do is fine with me, as long as you, take care of home. But it seemed like it got more and more disrespectful. But I digress. My whole point is, when you live in a love mindset and you live in a growth mindset, I don't think that's a bad thing. And I don't think that's something that stops with age. And I think that's my main point, that it doesn't stop with age. Women don't have like this, like, you can't teach an old dog new tricks. We're not dogs. We're human beings that continue to grow, that continue to learn, that continue to love. We don't just shut it off because we went through menopause, or, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. All right.
Lifelong learners. Come on now.
Okay. Miss Georgia, I'm gonna let you close out the point, and then we're gonna probably shut it down. We went well over our time. I know this conversation is just juicy. But again, ladies, I definitely appreciate y'all coming on. I really do. But I'm gonna let you close it out, Miss Georgia, and then I'm gonna say your final thoughts.
I'm just going to tell you about a conversation I had the other day. There was this 23-year-old little girl, and I call them little girls because they're younger than my children. She came to me and she said, can a 23-year-old, or she might be 26, can a 26-year-old and a 53-year-old get married? And I asked her, I said, well, what does your parents say about it? Because I'm sure, what does your daddy say about it? Because I'm sure that man is close to your father's age, and they probably have a lot in common, and they should have a lot to talk about. And she kind of looked upside the wall, looked left, looked right. And I was like, okay. I said, well, let me ask you this. Are you trying to grow old with someone, or watch somebody that's growing old? Because you're going to be watching him, and heaven forbid this man at 50 something years old gets you pregnant, because he's going to leave you with those children. He doesn't have that many days ahead of him. So by the time his children are 20, he may be 60, depending on his health, he may be dead. I said, so that at that point, I would suggest, if you do go forward with that relationship, 1, put your name on an insurance policy and make sure you're the beneficiary. 2, go ahead and have that baby so you can draw that Social Security check, because he's not even going to be in the physical ability, have the physical ability to chase a toddler around. A 10-year-old at 60, you're going to have a 10-year-old at 63. By the time your child is 20, you're going to be 70. And so what can you do with these up and coming millennial children, these pandemic children? You really think that he's going to be able to help you raise these children that he's going to put you with? No, he's going to leave you, and you're going to be then in the single mother category, and they're going to be like, oh, you're on the clearance rack, and then you're only 30, 40 years old. Then what does that leave? You have to think about your future and alone. He may be able to provide for you, love for you, give you babies, provide for them, but he better have a will in place. And don't even put it in a will, put it in a trust. Make sure he has a insurance policy. Hopefully he don't have no kids for you to argue with in the event of his death, because then you're left to struggle. You're going to be a single mother. So then you're just basically, he's marrying him a nurse. He's marrying him a caregiver. He's not going to be a good provider even at that point, because if he doesn't have a retirement or pension, you can't live off of Social Security. So then you're going to have to go out into the workforce, and so then that's going to take you away from your children. You have to think about the future. So I would not, and so I told her, I said, no, if you were my daughter when you're not, I would tell you, no, you need to find someone closer to your age, not that old. And I'm done.
All right. Okay, there we go. All right. Well, that was certainly a fruitful conversation there. I will have to say though, I would absolutely disagree with everything y'all said, but for the sake of we'll save that for the next episode. But I'm just telling y'all right now, you getting out there in this dating field right now, a lot of women are saying this.
I got 2 baby dads.
And a lot of men are just like, I'm not trying to take on that, I'm not trying to take on that burden. I'm just letting you know what the men are saying. I'm nothing more than just a messenger. Men are saying this. But ladies, do recognize always this is a man's world. And that, at the end of the day, we're the ones that get on our knees to propose. And look, I gotta say this, but if you wind up with a terrible dude, a man that did not fulfill his mission, his purpose, you have to have some introspection, and you gotta do the introspection and realize that you might have picked poorly. It happens. I mean, I picked poorly myself, but I just think a lot of women lack that introspection, and accountability. Shout out to Kevin Samuels, is like kryptonite. And that's ooh. Y'all see George's look, y'all see her face. She said, no, you didn't. But with that being said, I definitely want to thank these 2 ladies here for joining the show. They didn't have to, they got lives, they got kids, they got things they're doing, but they joined. I appreciate them for giving me their time, giving all of us their time. Shout out. Hey, man, y'all don't have any channels, social media, anything like that where the people can follow your content, anything like that, huh?
I have a business page. You can look me up at honeybeauty.com.
Honeybeauty.com. What do you sell? Like honey products?
Honey.
Oh, nice. I have to get some
sell oils. I sell beard oils, shea butter, shampoo.
I need that.
All natural, organic products. Support Black businesses.
I definitely need that.
Yeah,
and Miss Anitra, always a blessing to have you here. See, you always so worried when we starting up, man. Look, my hair ain't right. I'm looking crazy. I'm like, it's gonna be fine. We're gonna do good. No, you wasn't born. We all had something to say. We all said what was on our mind. Everything flowed just effortlessly. Wouldn't you agree?
I think everything went well. And right now I have a couple things that I'm working on. So hopefully they'll come to fruition soon. I'll be able to plug them in some other time. I really appreciate you having me on.
Yeah, no problem. Look, we listen, ladies and gentlemen in the chat. You have not seen the last of these 2 ladies. Y'all can see that they have something to say in regards to these conversations. They have some strong views, and I love it because
you need to get Mr. West on here.
Oh, we're gonna get Mr. West. Mr. West, where you at, man? Did you leave? I hope he didn't leave. He probably left. He like, I ain't trying to hear this. But anyway, ladies, like the video. Go subscribe to my channel here. If not, subscribe. The Real Unwoke, The Real Unwoke. Go subscribe. Like the video, all that stuff. Share it out to your friends. Share it out to your cousins. Share it out to your mama. And yeah, until next time, y'all. I'm gonna pull y'all down from the chat, and then we're just gonna close it out in the back room. But don't go nowhere, all right? I'm talking to y'all. All right, hold on. All right, pull y'all down. All right, appreciate y'all. All right, ladies and gentlemen, as we always say, we are speaking truth and speaking truth and reality. And I promise in due time we will reinstitute morality. Hit me up.